Anyway, back to this. So, well, what else could possibly be in this level? Because that was not really the actual cool thing I was talking about before, the cool concept. So, well, we'll get there in a little bit because we've got another one of the missions to go out of the way to do. This is a longer level. Don't kid yourself into thinking it's not. There's quite a bit to do in this level. But anyway, our next mission, as you just saw over there, is to rescue the lost wolf. How do we do that, you ask? Well, let's go over here. And also, this level is kind of cool because I just remembered that it's a throwback to Spyro 2. Anyway, here is another one of the side levels here. Because there's like 3 of them, I guess, technically. And we get the nice music in here again, so I guess I really can't complain. This mission's not too complicated. It doesn't take that much time. But as you can tell, if we talk to this guy, we've got to go rescue the wolf, which was on the egg description and whatnot. And this is another reason why Hunter taught us about the ball spinning mechanics before we came in here, because it's important for this level. How, you might ask? Well, let's go jump down the hole and find out! Boom. With the camera freaking out on us. As you can tell, the dog is really just down here, but he was indeed offering us his ball. But who cares about the ball? I'm more concerned about the gems, because we're going to need to pay money bags, obscure amounts of money, just to get through this game. Anyway, there are buttons on the ground here that do various things in the levels, like raise platforms. Which is why it's important to get the dog up here, because the dog will raise the platform with by standing on it with the ball. So you basically use the ball to tell the dog where to go. So you can get the dog to stand on there, and yes, the guys with the giant hammers are actually afraid of the tiny puppy. But yeah, so you use the ball to tell the dog where to go, and the dog goes there. Pretty simple. A little bit of a puzzle, not too bad. The dog tried to pick up the ball at the same time we did, but we actually got to it first because we have it in our mouths. So as you can see, there's a little thing, but, well, putting the dog there isn't going to do any good, so you have to stand on there yourself, and then use the triangle button to aim in, so you can tell where you're aiming it, and then throw the ball all the way over there. Dog will go there, and then you can actually just jump and glide over there. It's no big deal. But we got to make sure we collect all the gems first, because, well, you don't want to miss any gems now, do you? I actually didn't, I don't think, and I did run back down here after I was done to actually check and make sure that I didn't. Just to be sure, but I certainly didn't. Alright, so what was the agenda here? Is that I needed... It's like a 2-part thing here. So what you actually need to do, well, first off, other than collect the gems, is you need to go... Well, the buttons obviously get the... Open the doors. So I wound up putting the dog there, which lowered that thing. And then I realized that I made my mistakes. Mistakes had been made indeed, Hippopotamus. Just a little bit. But yeah, so what we actually have to do is we have to get the dog, now that the platform is there, to go over there, stand on that button, and the second he gets over there, what you need to do is you need to jump over here, because, well, you need to get up, you need to hit that button, and then you can go on with the dog, and, well, this mission is basically just about over. As you can tell, this wall is destructible, so do such a thing. There's a vase that I can't afford to hit right now, or apparently seem to hit. The dog abandons his ball, we kill another hammer guy, we open another fancy thing, and we're done. Not too bad. If I could stop crashing into walls, we could be done even faster. But also we get warped back over there when the dog appears anyway, so it's not like it matters that much anyway. Just a little bit. Just a bit. Maybe. Maybe a tad. But anyway, we get another egg. So our next to last egg here. We've got one more to go. And I just looked around there, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, just to make sure I'd actually gotten everything, because I don't want to leave anything behind. Nothing. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to go over here to this, the Sergeant Bird level, because screw this main level, right? We're just going to go to the side mission, right? Well, not quite. Not quite indeed. Because what actually happens in the name of cool concepts is we get to take Sergeant Bird out into the main level. Sergeant Bird, by the way, despite having really powerful rockets, cannot still destroy the vases. So you do need Spyro to destroy the vases, which I always forget about. But yeah, so this is obviously the easier way to, at least theoretically easier way to take out all of the dragony things. And again, that's important because, well, they have gems for us. And as you can tell, here is a reused asset from Spyro 2 with the guy with the bones from Skilo's Badlands dancing everywhere, and the same dragony things holding the bones. Everything's a dragony thing, apparently, to me. I can't tell anything apart. I don't actually know what those things are supposed to be. The skeleton holdy things that are the same monsters. It's the same asset. I'm pretty sure. I don't think they've done anything to it. But yeah, so same as in Spyro 2, there's 8 of those guys. You got to collect all of the bones, and then you can make that guy come back from the dead and dance around to the same song as in Spyro 2. It's a nice throwback. A little redundant because, well, nothing's different. But yeah, so also, yeah, just kind of go berserk. You need to explore all the towers. You need to get everything out. And you need to collect all the gems. That's about it. As you can tell, we actually did manage to take one of those guys out with a rocket earlier, so the bone was just kind of sitting there. One thing to be careful of, and it's a thing that I fell victim to, is you've got to make sure you get all of the, you got to make sure you stay healthy, because I wound up actually dying on this part, which meant that I had to start somewhat over. And I had to keep going with it, because I also didn't remember which parts I'd done, because you can't always tell, because enemies respawn. Because if you go down and you checkpoint occasionally, if you die, the enemies that you've killed will stay dead. Which is why it's important to do that. Because there's a fairy even right here, and I was too stubborn to go do it. And also, Sergeant Bird, I almost spoiled something, cannot actually break the ground poundy ones. Yeah, as you can tell, I took a hit there. And the gems that are nice and fly actually back to you. So make sure you note that. Anyway, we get another healthy thing here just to, make sure we stay up. Because you can't refill your health. Just be careful. Just be careful and don't be careless. But yeah, so that's why I just kind of ran past all these guys rather than actually try to fix everything. But yeah, that is what is kind of neat about this level. I don't like these flying things because they're a bit of a pain in the butt, especially to try to kill with the rockets that only somewhat home, because they move too much for it to be effective, and you have to be really close to them, which means they're shooting things at you, which is what killed me, by the way. Speaking of killing me, was it this guy? No, it was not that guy. That guy got his face blasted with a rocket that really should have hurt me just as badly. Just as badly. Just about. Anyway, we have gotten our 5th bone here, which means we're pretty good. Only a few more left. Just a little more, but there's a couple of gems hidden, and that's one thing, is that I actually did screw up at one point and had to go search for like 20 minutes for a gem. And yes, this level, because this level is so large in the skies, it actually does take a very long time if you don't get gems to actually go search around for them. So that's one thing you do want to be careful of, because if you leave gems somewhere, you're going to have to go around and try to find them. And that's not a thing you want to have on your thing. And speaking of things you don't want to have on your thing, this guy is going to murder my face away. Just completely away. It won't even be any semblance of a face anymore. It's just going to be nothing. Because he's murdered it that hard. It's gone. It's going to be completely gone. Look, see, 1 more health and I'm too stubborn to go heal. So we're just going to go kill ourselves because I don't know how to play games. Boom. Dead. And because I didn't have a checkpoint, we've got to do all this again. All again. Also, there's one nice thing that can happen, though. If you leave them all asleep, you can just kill them while they're asleep, because they just will stay down there. And, yeah, that's about it. Yeah, so now you just gotta kill their faces all over again, because it's important that you get all the gems, as I've mentioned now. And also, if you didn't notice, you can't actually go into the secret level with the other thing. The wolf as Sergeant Bird, and you can't go to the one underneath of the statue, or the former statue as well. And by the way, as you can see, there's one of the bones that's actually clipping through the thing. It's not actually one you can collect. It's part of the animation for later. It's actually just saved in the level, but it's apparently just barely clipping through the thing. So yeah, it's not that bad. It's a bit of a pain in the butt, but it's not terrible. Not that bad indeed. This one's kind of a pain because I don't actually know what happens, because I think you can fall out of this level. So you have to be careful not to fall out of the level, because some of these guys, especially this one, fly really low, and I actually just wound up just kind of anchoring myself over back here just so that I could land for a moment and give it a chance to relocate, because of course if you're too close to them, they're going to lock onto you and not move, which is kind of a pain in the ass when they're in a bad spot. Anyway, that guy got blasted by like 3 different rockets. Oh, and I forgot to collect this gem the last time, so it respawned in its case. And that's one thing that happens if you die or leave a level and you have previously made a gem not be contained in a container. It will become once again contained in its container. Yeah, might be a bad thing, but also not awful. Anyway, let's continue on clearing all these guys out. And as you can tell, one of them did actually drop a gem. Both of them did drop a gem, which means I was really slacking on the gem collecting. And I need to get better at gem collecting because that's important. Anyway, this time I was actually smart enough to save my progress so that if I should die again, which I didn't, I could actually continue back from where I left off. Anyway, also one annoying thing here is that make sure when you collect the last bone that you do it last. If there's gems around, you're going to get teleported away, so you're going to have to fly all the way back, which is what happened to me, by the way, because I collected the last bone and there were still gems around. So I'm an idiot. Learn from my mistakes, people. Do as I say, not as I do. We actually managed to, the homing rockets actually surprisingly managed to kill that guy. I was not expecting that in the slightest, but it made my life somewhat more easy. Somewhat easier. They just look so dopey. Like, they just look so dopey, and I can't take it. Stupid creatures. Anyway. Before I die again, let's kill this guy. And I think I actually regroup over here, let it fall asleep again, and then just nuke it while it's asleep. Because that is the way to do everything now, isn't it? Just about everything. Yeah, see? They just die easily while they're asleep. No problems. Anyway, let's collect his gem here before I forget about it. And, what do we need to do? We need to go get the last of the bones? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but as you can see, they're all really around in these towers. So it's kind of important, and also I just thought I'd show off. Oh, no, wait, I have to go get that other guy who was all the way over here, because I still didn't get him from earlier. And I'm not sure if I got him from earlier, and I'm pretty sure I'm just wasting my time. But we should, better safe than sorry, especially because I had to go on a gem hunt later in this level. Because I was missing a gem in the tower, like I said, and I had cut there for, I think, to see my atlas. I think that was the only reason I cut. Not certain. Oh, look, another one of the flying creatures of doom. Doom and destruction. We will bring doom and destruction to his doom and destruction face. Boom, there he's gone. And we got the gem for that, which was obviously a necessary kill. Anyway, here is the part with the last bone guy. So if we get this guy's bone, how many times have I said something euphemistic and not realized it? I'm not certain. But yeah, we wound up collecting the bone right away, and we got teleported away, which means that we get to see the song and the dance. But we have to go all the way back over and collect all the gems again.
My friend is feeling much better now.
Yay, this again. They didn't steal this from Spyro 2 at all. I don't know. Yeah, but that's what that bone was there for, because they fly in, so they actually had this pre-rendered, like, or not pre-rendered, but like, this isn't pre-rendered at all, but they had the bones actually sitting underneath of the level, and they were underneath of the, like, in the out-of-bounds areas of the level, like past the walls, so you couldn't see what they were doing, and then they just brought them in, and they made this guy dance around, and they basically just reused his animation, so it doesn't surprise me that one of them is sticking out slightly, because they probably just flat out just copied and pasted the entire animations from Spyro 2. Anyway, let's go get those gems we missed here, which I think was only the one. Way to go. Anyway, with that, we're going to switch back to Spyro, because even though I'm missing one gem as Sergeant Bird, I don't realize it at the time, because, well, I still have to go hit those head bashy things and the vase outside. So let's go get the vase, because that's important, because Sergeant Bird can't get that. And then, well, you saw the two head bash things. They're on the other side there. Because it's important that we get all of them, because, well, we need to get all the gems. Gemity gems. Those are very important to our well-being as a Spyro player. Yep. And I missed. For whatever reason, that wound up happening fairly frequently. You do go a little bit forward when you push the head bash button, by the way. Just a little bit. Anyway, I, for whatever reason, forgot that this was here and had to cut away because I went around exploring for it, and then forgot it was, like, right there. But anyway, you will notice that we are still a few gems short once we get all this down, and by a few I mean 2, which is really just because there's a 2 gem up in the tower. So after like actually 10 minutes of gem hunting, I finally found it. The silly fool. You have been reclaimed. That's them all. Level complete. Let's get out of here. Let us vanish our heads. Let us leave and let us go do something else. Yay, saving. Just what I wanted. Just what I wanted indeed, Eponymous. Yay. Level complete.